This podcast was originally live-streamed on the NonSequitur Show on YouTube. New episodes air weekdays, Monday through Friday, at 8 p.m. Eastern at youtube.com/NonSequitur Show. Make sure you never miss a live stream by visiting www.nonsecshow.com/schedule. For the latest news, polls and updates throughout the day, follow us on Twitter at NonSecShow or Facebook.com/NonSecShow. That's NonSeq Show. If you'd like to get exclusive content, bi-weekly private hangouts with Kyle and Steve, backstage access to chat with guests after shows hosted on your channel and much more, become a Patreon saint of NonSequitur. It ensures we continue to improve our show and brings you into the process at the same time. Visit patreon.com/NonSequitur today while the limited spots are still available.
The following podcast is intended for those who believe bold ideas are righteous, unique perspectives are gospel, and strong opinions are sacred. This is Non Sequitur. Never follow. And now, here are your hosts, Kyle Curtis and Steve McRae.
Well, I'm not really sure where to go from there. I'm kind of embarrassed. Guys out there, do you ever have an issue with premature openings? It's nothing.
And you nailed it too.
Nothing to be embarrassed about.
Yeah,
nothing
he nailed
to be
it, and it
embarrassed
wasn't fun. I don't want to watch him do a premature opening. Ooh, echo.
And I don't know why. I don't know what. I just felt it. You know what I mean? I was so excited to get back to everyone and to do this show that it just kind of happened. So it's a thing, and we're going to deal with it. Kyle here, Smug Steve there. Hello, Smug Steve.
Hello. Hashtag. No, you've got the hashtag.
Oh, made me laugh.
It's trending.
We're going to explain in just a second, but let's say hello to the lovely new channel of the year recipient, Shannon Q.
Hey, hi guys. How you doing? Hi, Smug Steve. Hi, Premature Kyle.
Why are we
I don't know which is worse.
Why are we calling Steve Smug again?
Oh, because Matt Dillahunty handed him his face on Twitter, and that was
Had him in my face. Is that even a colloquialism?
Yeah, well, it is. It is in Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
Oh, it must be
contribute that to him. Yeah, so Steve and Matt Dillahunty are having a little tiff on Twitter, and Steve got the name Smug Steve out of it, which is fantastic.
It's the best.
Well, I think he's upset that I got promoted to the Pope of Agnosticism because he doesn't like the title Pope of Atheism, although he's used it before in the atheist experience. He's actually referred to himself, jestfully as the Pope of Atheism. He knows it's bullshit, but he comically talks about it. But God forbid people vote me the Pope of Atheism or somebody Pope of Agnosticism, and he just loses his shit.
I'm not sure that's why he's called.
I didn't
Smug.
cast a ballot.
I'm not sure that's why he's called
Yeah.
Smug. I think it's the definitions thing. From what I took out of it, it's the definitions thing.
He's the one that's more smug about it. He asserts that his way is the only way.
No, you're more smug. No, you're more smug.
How am I smug on it? There are more ways than one. He affirms one. I affirm there's multiple ways.
That's not what I'm saying.
I'm
already train wreck.
I'm more understanding of it than him.
Take us out.
That's right. Does this mean I can be on Dumpster Fire of the Year next year?
Yes.
Planning it.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I got an email today. By the way, our viewers out there, all of you guys are the greatest. Like, we have the best audience, I think, and it's so diverse. But I got an email from a guy that was telling me that he doesn't agree with anything that we say on the show. He's he's of a different opinion on most things. However, he is learning how to 3D print, and he wants the winners of the Golden Nun and the graphics, and he is going to 3D print the Golden Nuns and send them to the recipients. And I just thought that was the greatest. Yes. So you will actually be getting a Golden Nun. How fantastic is that? Yeah. How fantastic is that?
Gosh, that is fantastic. What a generous man. Thank you.
Very. So thank you. You know who you are. I'm not going to dox you or call out your name or anything on on the air, but we really appreciate that. That was a generous offer, and I will get those to you for sure. Okay. I just have one future show that I want to announce, because Shannon will actually be with us on this one, and that's when we talk to James Lindsay, who I think is brilliant. I want to marry his brain. James Lindsay, please let me marry your brain. I think you are just brilliant. And he did a couple of fake articles that were hoaxes on some pretty ridiculous studies that, he tried to highlight some issues that were going on in academia and those sort of things. And there was one study where it talked about the discrimination between that people can get when dogs hump each other, which I thought was brilliant in its comic value, but I had no idea how it made it to the to be accepted. But there were like 20 articles, 11 of them I think got accepted. I
think it was 5
profound number.
Got accepted.
5.
The ones that are astounding to me are the ones where they literally plagiarized Mein Kampf. And 2 of them, they literally plagiarized Mein Kampf and submitted them, and nobody caught it. And one of them got published. They plagiarized Mein Kampf.
This is why this is going to be an amazing show, and you guys have to watch, because you're going to be able to see just the lengths that they went to do this hoax, and the amount of the ones that were accepted. One of them won an award, right? There was one that won some type of award. I don't know. It's crazy, but James Lindsay will be with us on December the 10th. So look out for that. Okay. We're going to do a show tonight that I think is going to fascinate everyone. I was certainly fascinated last night when Shannon posted her video. If you haven't seen it, the link to it is in the description. So make sure that you do that. But I wanted to kind of let her explain what's going on with this really bizarre Christian organization. And Shannon, I'm going to hand it over to you now.
All right. Hi, guys. Thank you for having me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to kind of highlight what's going on here. And Steve, too, I guess, or whatever. So I wanted to take a minute, well, more than a minute, to kind of lay out something that I came across that I find is particularly concerning to me. Now, I'm going to start with just a proclamation that there are lots of amazing counselors, psychologists, psychiatrists of all faiths who practice ethically and do an amazing job and operate ethically and within the constraints of their license and go through continuing education practices and are amazing. That is not the group I'm talking about today. I'm going to be talking about a very particular sect of Christian counselors, and you'll see why I have the air quotes as I progress. So I've prepared a slideshow, and I'm going to tell you before we go into that slideshow how I came across them. So I did a podcast on Sir Skeptic's channel with him and Ocean Keltoy where we discussed the issues about mental health issues and how they're dealt with in the churches and some of the positives and negatives. And during the pre-show conversations, they introduced me to a Christian counselor. And I didn't realize that Christian counseling was even a thing. I didn't realize that they had their own unique designation. So for those who don't know me, I have a background in psychology. I have an honors degree in psychology, and my background's in perceptual cognition and communication theory. And so I decided to have a look at it. And what I found was upsetting. So it's going to take a little bit to lay out exactly what's going on because there's a lot of layers to this. So I guess I will just kind of start explaining. So Dave, do you mind putting up the first slide for me, please, if you can? So this is Richard Arno. So Richard Arno created a system called the temperament analysis system. It is now called the Arno profile system. Now, the Arno profile system is not found anywhere in any research journals, nor is this doctor. You can see he has the designation of doctor in front of his name. It is not found in any research. It's not referenced anywhere. It doesn't exist as far as secular research is concerned. Now, you can see I have highlighted there that he was awarded several honorary doctorates because Dr. Arno, as far as I can tell, does not exist in the academic arena. I'm working on trying to figure out how the temperament analysis that he created was compiled, and I'm also working on figuring out exactly what it entails. I have a pretty good understanding already, but I'm not super comfortable yet going into it. There will be follow-up videos where I'll be breaking it apart a little bit more. But what Dr. Arno did was actually incredibly clever. So Dave, if you could go to the next slide, please. Dr. Arno and his wife created this temperament analysis system. It wasn't accepted in the secular world. It isn't something that has any sort of proven veracity or efficacy as far as academia is concerned. So what Dr. Arno did was Dr. Arno created a private school, and that private school teaches his temperament analysis system from a Christian perspective. Now, in order to be a licensed practicing counselor, psychologist, psychiatrist, you need to be able to prove that you are getting continuing education in your field, you are operating ethically, there's oversight bodies that are in charge of making sure that you are practicing in an ethical way and employing the most up-to-date standards. But private school, and you also need to prove that you have a education from an accredited institution that is verified to have taught you the appropriate standards for the designation of, counselor or psychologist or psychiatrist. Now, the private school sector operates very, very differently. So what Dr. Arno did was in the private school sector, he opened a school and he started to teach his temperament analysis system. Now, he opened not only the school, but he also opened the licensing body. And this is just a slide showing you that he is in fact the person who founded the NCCA, the National Christian Counselors Association. So Dave, if you can go to the next slide, please, and thank you.
You said the governing body, so he's essentially governing himself. Is that what you're saying?
Kind of, yeah, correct. It gets substantially worse as we go on. So if you are a Christian counselor, if you have gone to Dr. Arno's school through the Christian Counseling Association, you can now start charging for your services. So here is the sliding scale for Above and Beyond Christian Counseling, which is a rather large YouTube channel, and they have 3 private counseling practices where they charge clients for mental health services. So this is what you pay in order to employ their services. So Dave, if you could go to the next slide, please. And sorry, I keep looking down at my phone. This is Dr. Donald J. Ibbotson, PhD. Now, as you can see, I have highlighted what his initial qualifications were before he went into his PhD. Dr. Ibbotson went to Stanford to get an MBA, which is a Master's of Business Administration. He has a Bachelor's of Science in Mechanical Engineering. Those are impressive, but they have nothing to do with counseling. So what Dr. Ibbotson did, or Donald, I'm going to refer to him as Donald. What Donald did was he went straight from those to getting a PhD in Christian counseling, because in order to get a